I absolutely hate being quarantined in a dead bedroom situation and I'm resenting my partner. I'm so sick and tired of seeing memes about people having a ton of sex during quarantine when I know I won't get any. My BF and I don't have sex very often because he's just not interested and I get my own satisfaction by spending special time alone. Quarantine means I can't do that anymore because we have a mutual rule about masturbating while the other is at home. Being cooped up in my house has left me with raging hormones and a very high sex drive. I've been irritable and snappy and I know my BF is wondering what the hell is wrong. We've had countless fights about this before, so talking to him about it is useless. So the dynamic here isn't very good, as you can imagine. I know it's not his fault, but I'm starting to ever so slowly resent him. I can barely look at him without getting uncontrollably angry, and when he talks to me I just want to leave. He slapped my butt the other day and I just about screamed at him. I'm turning into a raging bitch and I hate myself for it. I hate myself for acting out like this, but I can't help it. So now I hate myself and my partner. Oh joy. Edit. We established the masturbation rule at the beginning of our relationship. I had expressed that it kind of bothered me if my man masturbated while I was at home because it made me feel like I wasn't enough. I had a lot of issues in my previous relationship. He felt the same. But I have absolutely no problem with him doing it while I'm out. Also, we established this rule when we were having lots of sex, so it wasn't an issue. Also, he slaps my bum and fondles my chest regularly and is very physically affectionate with me. I never snap at him for doing this, I just did the other day because him doing that was turning me on and he kept shutting down any moves I made. Hence why I was frustrated. Edit 2, I'm the same weight I was when I met him. I'm very conscientious of my hygiene. Edit 3, more context on the FAP rule. He caught me masturbating one day and didn't say much about it, but come to find out it really made him upset. He wondered why I would masturbate if he's home instead of coming to him for sex. He wondered if he wasn't good enough and why I would choose masturbating instead of sex. I stopped masturbating when he was home and we would have sex. Then I caught him in the shower several times after she had turned me down a few minutes before. It hurt my feelings because I felt inadequate. We talked it out and agreed that out of respect for each other we would not masturbate unless we were alone. It was a mutual feeling on both sides. Except that when we made that rule we were having regular sex. During a dry spell I can deal with it easier because I have a lot of alone time when he's working and he had alone time too. Now that we don't, it's just frustrating. Why do you guys have the rule about masturbating if you're not having sex either? You need to review the rule about masturbating, it's too harsh on you in this situation. I hate poor couples who bring out kids to the world and make them suffer too. I think I dislike people who see children as a way to financial stability. I see so many people just pushing out children so they can get government benefits, while the children themselves suffer. I've seen poor people go to the ends for the earth for their kids, as most immigrant parents probably have. I think it is really selfish if they have a child carelessly. Accidents happen, and if you can raise the baby, spend a healthy amount of time with the baby and whatnot, I don't mind it. But seriously, have safe sex if you know you can't provide for a baby. You probably wouldn't be born if that was the case. I'm okay with people being poor and having children. What I'm not okay is people being poor and having 2+ children. My parents' love saved my life and they don't even know it. I never really talk about this, and certainly not in this much detail. I have to get it off my chest. When I was in middle school, I was being bullied quite a bit. I was screwed from the beginning. I've always had anxiety and depression that would get better or worse throughout my life. Practically all my life my anxiety and depression would make me think the worst possible scenario in any situation. My bullies would tell people that I was stuffing my bra, that I was a lesbian, and constantly criticized my looks. I remember thinking that people would assume that I was a fake person and no guy would want to date me. During this time, I had horrible social anxiety. Bad enough that I was willing to take an F on a presentation because I didn't want to speak in front of the class. Or that I wouldn't sharpen my pencil because I didn't want to get in front of the class. A combination of all these things made me feel disconnected from the world and I just wanted the suffering to stop. When I was 13, I stayed up past my parents and brothers. I was sitting on the edge of my bed thinking of what I could do to really end it. I realized that I was the only one awake. The medicine cabinet is in my parents' bathroom, so that was a no-go. However, the kitchen was left clear. I was on my way to the kitchen to get a kitchen knife and I passed by my parents' room. I listened to them sleeping soundly for a minute or two before I suddenly realized that it would be my parents that would be the ones to find me dead. This is going to sound dumb, but the next few minutes played out like a movie. I immediately thought about my parents holding my bloody body, my dad trying to comfort my mom, my family sobbing, my younger brother not understanding what was happening, and my older brother having to solemnly go to school as though nothing happened. I decided that I didn't want my parents to be traumatized from this, so I decided to just go to sleep. The next day, my dad made his legendary biscuits and gravy. I decided that I was going to live, for my parents' sake. At 22 I'm now on antidepressants and doing much better. I joked to my mom the other day that it's nice to feel normal. My social anxiety is also much better. I even got an A in my communications class. You go the fuck on, Grey Wolf with yo bad self. Congrats on choosing life, flexed bicep. My love for my little brother kept me from doing it. I could never let him find me dead. PSA, this sub is unmoderated and the users on here will covertly try to incite you into suicide, self-harm, or worse. There are some sadistic people who think harassment like this is okay and have no remorse whatsoever. You should see what doesn't make it up. The amount of troll content that gets submitted here has gone up dramatically in the past 2 to 3 weeks. COVID-19 seems to have brought out the trolls in full force. We go for lightly moderated but that doesn't seem to be doing much good anymore amidst the spam and troll content. I'll start looking for another moderator. If you ask, you will be denied. I've seen more spam and ignorant bullshit on this Reddit this week than I've ever seen. Maybe it's time to actually consider a mod or two? Just to prevent the hardcore porn, snuff images, and blatant trolling? Yeah, I've got to say, reading some of the comments on this sub has led me down the "that's enough internet for today" road. Some people need a hobby or something to funnel their energy into, goddamn. I've lost so much respect for people I used to admire. I think I actually hate them after seeing their COVID-19 behavior. This pandemic got me all fucked up right now. The people that I work alongside daily are complaining about the new COVID-19 bill and how they're going to pay their employees and how it's going to ruin their profit margins / bankrupt them. And I understand that they're scared, they're anxious. But there are people who are living paycheck to paycheck and you're whining about how you'll have to take out loans or wait for reimbursements. How, secretly, you're willing to try and pocket extra money that's supposed to be for them for yourself. Dude, fuck all of you. Right now you should be worrying about the people who look to you for leadership, guidance and safety. You shouldn't be plotting to keep an extra $20 from them because you can't run a business well and you're a phony. People are fighting to toilet paper in stores? Like actually harming each other? Senators are just trying to squeeze that last $1 million out before people's home are going to be foreclosed on. Holy shit, people. It's fucking disgusting. I feel so guilty knowing that I could go to the store and buy food for 4 weeks and not worry. I feel awful seeing elderly people grocery shopping right now. If I could figure out a way, I'd use half my company assets to just help people who are vulnerable stay out of stores. I'm trying, but it doesn't seem like enough. It seems like one little act won't even move the dial. Sorry, so doom and gloom. Maybe tomorrow will be a brighter day. If you're only helping one person, that makes a difference. Helping is always enough. Some people make it very ugly. But keep in mind that there's also great people out there. I'm looking at you healthcare workers, supermarkets employees, politicians who work 24/7, etc. The good in the world starts with yourself. So let's all decide on doing at least one thing today for someone else and be the inspiration you look for. Sounds like you expected more out of humanity than it actually has to offer. Reality is a bitch. Why are people surprised by this? This is what happens with sheep when the flock is startled. My dad fired his entire office staff. He's in non-essential healthcare, so they've all lost their benefits and have no income. I don't think I'll ever be able to look at him now and not see a monster. I'm only dieting so I can increase my chances of finding a boyfriend. There, I fucking said it, God. I'm so ashamed because in this body positive era women are encouraged to just love their bodies and whatever, and I fucking hate mine, and I know it's part of what's keeping me single. I only need to lose 30 pounds and I'll be able to get back into the dating pool without being a chubby body type. I think of this as improving myself, but I know I can't say that out loud without the fucking body positive police coming out from nowhere. Let me hate my body in peace until I fix it. Thanks. I don't think anyone gives a fuck if you're trying to get yourself to change your appearance. I don't agree with the reason for your choice, but it's not my business. Your body. Your business. Do it in a physically healthy way, please. Don't lose weight for some guy, but do lose weight for your own personal well-being. If you can't love yourself, then how can you expect someone else to? I hope you get to where you want to be. Just know that it's okay to not be in the best shape but still love who you are. Sometimes when I order a lot of food at McDonald's, I order 2 drinks so that they don't think it's all for me. I just got back from the Golden Arches with a nice bundle box. Got 2 sodas so they don't recognize me as the fat ass that I am. That is all. I think we've all been there, my friend. Enjoy. It's hard got me to give a damn what the dude at the drive-thru thinks, lol. I burn 1,000 calories at work alone, so you best believe I'm gonna pig out with 3 MC chickens and 3 burgers, medium fries and a large Diet Coke, and a cookie. I'm pretty, but I had doubts. Disappointed face. Your circle is deadly. Growing up, I didn't think I was pretty. I didn't know that I was physically attractive. I wasn't fat, but I was a bit thicker or heavier than my friends, and they made me feel awkward about it or more conscious. I was trying to fit in when I would always stand out. So now I'm 36 and realize that I am an amazing person, beautiful and a good friend. I have learned that I need to choose better friends. Most of the people around me kept hanging around with me because it benefit them, not because of a sincere desire for friendship. Self-image is important. My parents were not married and I lived between the both of them, back and forth. Neither of them told me I was pretty until I had a boyfriend at 15. Even then, they said, "Oh, you think you're pretty now and all. The boys chase you, but soon you will realize that they get tired of you. You won't always be the favorite." Or they would say stuff like, "That boy only treats you that way because of how you look." As a parent, we should choose how we speak to our children and uplift them even if our parents were bitter and hateful during our lives. I think, personally, that the feeling of being pretty/handsome starts with ourselves. I had many issues accepting myself. Everything about me made me feel unattractive. With time I started accepting myself without expecting much of others. I may not be handsome and that's alright, but I like myself and I try to treat my body well. I think I was lucky in some ways to have this persistence of finding how to love myself, and now I am quite accepting how I look like. If someone does not like, it's alright, I guess. Your parents were fucking jealous of a 15-year-old. They need to get a fucking grip. I masturbated with my hot cousin's panties when I was 15. In SFW, my cousin and her kid came to live with us when I was around 14 or so. Me and her got along well enough, but her kid not so much. He's not relevant to this story, though. Anyways, it was around this age that I had my sexual awakening. I was a horny little bastard, jerking off any chance I get. I got tired of just using my hand after a while though, but I didn't have a GF at the time, and I couldn't get me a pocket pussy or anything like that. The frustration was getting to me real bad when I had a brilliant idea: use my cousin's panties. My sick, horny, delusional mind tried to rationalize it by saying comma and quat. I didn't even know she even existed before she arrived at our house one day, so it didn't really feel like we were related. And besides, she owes us something for staying here. And quat, man, I sure did have some sick old man thoughts even back then. So one day when I was home alone, I identified which panties were hers from the dirty laundry. I mean, why not? And whacked one out. Not only that, I even sniffed them beforehand. To top it all off, I fantasized about us going to Pound Town in my bed and coming all over her tits. Yeah, you bet your ass I did that shit daily. And no one was any the wiser, since the dirty laundry was, well, dirty. This continued until a few years later when they left to go live with her new deadbeat baby daddy to get left with another kid as a single mother. Now, do I regret what I did? Yes. Was it disgusting and incestuous? Absolutely. Would I do it again? You bet your ass I would. I felt so nasty reading this that I may need a shower. Why the fuck would you do it again? That's honestly so nasty. Do this to my third cousins and my big fine ass sister-in-law. Keep coming on those panties. I started to choose my friends more wisely by giving toxic people more descriptive names on my phone. Just wanna start out by prefacing that I have wonderful friendships that I cherish. However, I've recently left a toxic relationship, and began noticing those behaviors in some of my other friends. I really want to honor and experience the saying that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, so I'm deciding to take more care in how I choose who I'm hanging around. So I started giving toxic, negative friends alternate names on my phone, so that I remember why I need to create some space. I do kinda feel guilty about this, but it's also helping me for my own good. I still love them, I let them know I care, but keep my distance now. I just don't want to end up a captive who's trapped listening to them rant negativity and dump on me for the next 4 hours. So far I have conversational succubus, he never takes a breath, for hours. I leave the interaction having said literally almost nothing, but yeah, huh, crazy, wow, and nodding my head, and have to interrupt him to say goodbye. There is psycho sauce, everyone is crazy but her, and she has to talk crap about each person in detail, directing all conversations back to negativity. Boa constrictor, wonderful guy, but always putting me down in a snide, passive-aggressive way by telling me what I'm doing wrong and how he knows better than me because X, Y, Z. And there's always be gentle dear, because he is so sensitive that I have to be ultra careful not to make him angry, or the next few days will be untangling my own words to support his fragile ego. There, I said it. My former best friend was basically all of those people combined. If I had been able to admit it to myself earlier and set better boundaries, and reminders of those boundaries, like you've got, it would have been better all around. Don't feel bad for sticking with your boundaries, op. Fuck them all off completely. Just block them. Cut off the dead wood, come on, you know you want to.